Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of That Mill podcast. Mickey, I guess I can call it the first edition of the 2022-23 season. What do you reckon? The boys are back.
I reckon, doesn't it? Proper old school, isn't it? Just me and you.
That's it, mate. But anyway, the first edition, that's it. I'm going to coin it now. It's going to be uploaded. This is the first edition of the 2022-23 season. Fixtures are out. Squad reported back for pre-season yesterday. Myself, Omer's here with Mickey. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. You all right?
I'm all right. All good. I mean, it's an interesting time of the year, isn't it, mate? And football's back, almost. Millwall's back in pre-season training. It's quite an exciting time of year normally. Not to put a sour taste in it, but it doesn't feel too exciting at the moment, does it, mate?
So, where are we? We're 2 days into pre-season.
Yep.
And Jed's gone.
Yep.
Lovelace is gone.
Yep.
Afobe's gone.
Mm-hmm. Ballard.
Ballard looks as if we've fucked that as well. So Ballard's gone. I think there's a brilliant text. Well, I think I'll read out. There's a brilliant text. I was going to do some of these texts later on, but there's a brilliant text from Chewy Louis 0707 on Twitter. Paul, we know him. Paul, we've seen him. He goes home and away everywhere, so he's got a right to say whatever the fuck he wants. Really, he follows the club up and down the country, all over the place, and he's basically said, "Dear Millwall, instead of bombarding me with birthdays, haircuts, your training kit launch, farewell videos, could you please announce some signings now, as you have a very disheartened fan base at the moment that need you to prove us all wrong?" Is he wrong?
He's not wrong. I don't think he's right either. So I think I'm going to be the one that's a bit of on the fenceness, as per usual. And I think, I'm disappointed. Like, we've lost Jed Wallace. Let's say it, everyone knows at this point, he's gone to West Bromwich Albion, who finished a position below us last season. Have they got more chance of going up than us probably this season? Yeah. In the next 4 years, he signed a 4-year contract on probably 30 grand a week. Can we match that? No.
25.
Is he like, well, who actually knows the figures, mate? But in the region, we'd say of 25 to 30 grand. He was probably on 15 grand on his last contract with Millwall. Millwall offered him a new deal, allegedly to be 22.5k a week. Who knows? Again, we're making numbers up here and we're playing fire with fire. We don't know. I think we're losing players, but also half these were loan players. And we've tried. I mean, I'm pissed off we're missing out on Ballard. I think that could have been a thing that we could have got sorted at the end of the season. We knew we wanted him. Why have we waited till now to go for him? That's my whole bugbear on that.
My thing on that is, right, if you remember during last season, we had the whole, we need to change the way we recruit. We're going to change the way we recruit.
We still might be, though. This is my point. We still might, mate. We still might be getting the players we want. And we might sign 5 players.
I understand.
This is it.
But listen, right, we're going to change the way we recruit. We're going to get in younger players with a sell-on potential, and we're going to go from there. Okay, great. That's exciting. Let's see where we go. And Daniel Ballard would have been a prime example to invest 2-3 million in him. In 2 years' time, that fella's going to be worth 10-15 million.
You hope. No guarantee. And also, so I
do you think he's not?
Sign Ballard. I hope he will be. He's on the right trajectory. He had the League One loan, Championship loan, and obviously Burnley are interested in him, and they wouldn't be interested in him for no reason. I know they need centre halves, and this is it though. We've got obviously Alex Pearce is gone, so now we're left with centre halves of Hutchinson, Cooper, and Murray Wallace, and Ryan Leonard can play centre half, and then you throw in Hayden Muller to the mix, and then Alex Mitchell. So there's still 6 centre halves at the club. I don't think it's a priority position, but at the same time, if you get offered Daniel Ballard for £2 million, you'd be stupid not to take it. And I agree. And this is my bugbear. And I think if we wanted him and he was one of our top targets, we should have got this deal done at the end of the season, like I said.
Should have got it done in January.
What is he, 21, 22 years old? He was never going to go back to Arsenal and play. They spent 50 million on a centre half last summer. We know this and we understand that. And I agree. But I do also think, like, if it meant missing out on other targets that we need further up the pitch, then maybe you could put an argument in. This is all hearsay. No one actually knows the answer. Maybe you need to kind of have that money spent elsewhere in the side. However, I do think it was a no-brainer to go for Ballard, and I agree. He probably will be worth more than £2 million in a year or two time, and he's playing Championship week in, week out. Hopefully he does at Burnley, and hopefully he has a good career. I mean, you never know. He might make his way back down to SE16 one day, but I think it's more to it, mate. That the problem is we've got 12 outfield players reporting back for pre-season training yesterday, which is mental. Mental. Like, how can you have that scenario happen where they spent the entire close season saying we want bodies in for the first day of pre-season? Here we are, and not a single signing, mate. And it's crazy, right?
No, I totally agree. I mean, you know, Ollie Burke allegedly, potentially, I mean, he was seen allegedly again at the training ground yesterday. Whether or not that's true or not, we got it on quite good, on quite trusted authority that was there. But again, we don't know for certain. We didn't see it with mine and your eyes, and we haven't got that person here to verify it. Ferguson potentially. There seems to be a lot of good noise around it, but again, we don't know whether or not we've gone in with a reasonable offer.
This is Ferguson from Aberdeen, isn't it?
Yeah, Ferguson from Aberdeen. It's normally quite good when you sort of get an inkling. You start talking to people who are connected around that, around where the player's potentially coming from, and they suddenly start, no, I can't make a comment on that. And you go, well, can you tell me, does it look as if he's coming to us, or does it look as if we don't stand a chance? And you get, I'm not going to make a comment on either one of them because I can't. And you sort of, you read that maybe it's okay, maybe it's not. I've got no idea. The problem is, as always, from an outside, it looks as if we fuck up an awful lot of time. Might not be that way, but we're going into pre-season. We fly out to Ireland on Monday, and unless we're going to make, and we do like making announcements on a Friday, unless we make 2 or 3 announcements tomorrow, then we're basically going to Ireland with 12 outfield players.
And also youth players to make up the numbers.
And also youth players to make up the numbers. But I don't know. Jed should have been sealed up. Really in January. We should have given him what he wanted. First time of asking, and then go.
Do you think it was as simple as that, though? So let's debate that for a second, mate. Do you think? I think personally, just to interject my opinion on that before you go, I think he would have stayed if we showed ambition. Not necessarily for him. He's always said he wants to take Millwall to the Premier League, and here's us, and here's everyone on Twitter and online, all demoralised because we've only got 12 outfield players that played last season in the squad at the moment. We feel like we've got no, we don't see where anything's going. If you're Jed Wallace and you got an offer from West Brom, who have just signed John Swift, one of the best playmakers in the Championship, have got a squad built that's been in the Premier League previously, not too long ago either. If you choose between signing for Millwall or signing for West Brom on a 4-year deal, and being part of Steve Bruce's plans, and Steve Bruce said today, Swift and Jed Wallace were his 2 top targets going into the summer. You can't begrudge Jed Wallace in that sense of, it annoys me he's gone to West Brom because he was holding out for a big Premier League move. That's what the rumours were. But can you begrudge it? Because you look at Millwall and go, well, who are we signing then? Where's the ambition? If we made 3 or 4 signings and showed ambition in the summer, we might be able to convince Wallace to stay. I don't think it's about money, personally.
No, I don't think it's about money. I think, but
you said give him what he wants in January.
I think reading between the lines from various sources from various sides of the camp. So, some on the club side to a degree, and some on Jed's side, and some what sit in the middle from, people what sort of nose around and all of that. I mean, allegedly, we made an offer to Jed in January. He come back and said, this is what I want. We didn't make it. We didn't go back with an offer until later on when other clubs were coming into him. And I think possibly he felt a bit undervalued to a degree. And the fact that we weren't making like you say, we weren't making no real.
But that's hearsay signings as well, right? With you saying
hearsay. I'm not saying
in January.
I'm not saying, but the fact is, I don't think he's going to move to West Midlands. I think he might, go because I think his kids and family are settled in Biggin Hill around there. I think he lives in that sort of area around, Kent, in that area. So whether or not he moves to West Midlands, I mean, fucking hell, it's bad enough he's going to West Brom. It's, it'll be really punishment if we make him move to the Midlands with it. Look,
maybe he's a big Peaky Blinders fan and he's looking forward to,
Look, my personal opinion. I mean, my personal opinion with it all is, look, he's gone. He was a Millwall player. He's no longer a Millwall player. Thank you very much for 6 years. Thank you very much for, what you did, but you were paid to do that job, and you're not here no more. You've gone. So that's it.
So shall we close? We'll close the curtain on Jed Wallace then, shall we? Yeah. But before we do, I think
we need to discuss it on here. But I do think that
this.
I think the problem was that we were heavily too focused on him as a player, and it was as if, when you're in a relationship and you've got that girlfriend or, you're in a boyfriend and that the relationship's over, but you're never going to you're not really the one who's going to sit there and go, I'm going to go away now. And I think that was it. I think the club were in a position where they thought, Jed loves us. He's not going to leave us. He's going to take the deal. Last minute, he's going to take the deal. He's going to take the deal. He's going to stay with me. He loves me. He's going to stay with me. And then, I think he got to a stage where he went, I'm going. I mean, there's loads of stuff that we've heard, what we've been talking about on the WhatsApp group. What doesn't need to come out in public, that it is hearsay. We can't think, but hey ho,
it's all hearsay and should be taken with a pinch of salt, isn't it? But also with the Jed story, I think where I feel like if you look at his career at Millwall, 6 years, 5 as a permanent player since we've got promoted to the Championship, I think the problem I have with all of that is we're talking about, we could have sold out in January. Maybe we could have sold him last season. Maybe we could have sold him in the summer and tried to offer him out to clubs. And then we maybe could have sold him in January. I think the problem here is that we've lost an asset that could have easily cooped in. We sold Saville for £8 million. Jed Wallace's output is a lot greater, far greater than George Saville. You probably could have got, when Saville went to Middlesbrough, the same money, if not more, for Jed Wallace. So my question to you,
they wanted Jed then. They wanted Jed then, but they didn't.
I know everyone knows that. My question to you, mate, is: did we miss a trick? And should we have sold Wallace when we sold Saville, for example, or should we be looking at, when we're saying about our recruitment strategy and how we're doing it as a club, we're very nostalgic of our players, and we love hanging on to players that mean something to us and represent the club and represent the fans. But should we have not have sold him after 3 or 4 years, after he's had his second contract and he's got a couple of years left on his deal? Maybe we should have sold him after 3 or 4 years, mate, and cashed in on him and then reinvest that money into the club. We say this all the time. You're saying with Ballard, for example, right? Ballard's 22 years old. We signed for £2 million. He plays great for 3 or 4 seasons. None of us want to sell him. But maybe if he's 26 years old and worth £10 million, maybe Millwall might think, hang on, let's cash in on him and then buy 5 more Ballards. But we get attached to players. So should we have sold him a couple of years ago?
Yeah, possibly.
What's the right answer? And this is the toss-up, isn't it?
I think maybe we should have done, Wiley, probably before the last 2 seasons, where we just we put too much on him. Do you know what I mean? I think we just put too much responsibility on Jed.
He thrived on it, didn't he?
Oh, he did. But we just put too much responsibility. But then it's, if you play devil's advocate and come out with what the club comes out with, it's hard to get people here. Well, yeah, obviously we understand that, because you've got an old an old fucking shitty training ground, and you can only, it's like the saying goes, isn't it? You can put glitter on a turd, but it's still a fucking turd.
Do you think, we're going off a tangent, mate, but do you think the training ground is a big deal when it comes to signing players? And I suppose it has some value, but Millwall's a team, the closest team to central London, prime location. Bennett, for example, I know he posted on his story, he lives in a flat near the XL Arena, I'm pretty sure, and they've got nice sky-rise flats. Players can come down. We are an attractive proposition, but I think we need to have a clear model of what we are as a club when it comes to buying and selling players.
I think what it is that I think what it is that if it's a young player, I think it could be a disadvantage to us. I don't think it's all the time, but I think it could be a disadvantage to us sometimes.
A young player when they're 15, 16 years old, you mean? Like kind of very young?
Yeah. A young player coming in. And I think possibly a pro in his beginning potentially is going to be, could be a bit off-putting when you walk into possibly an established club and they've got, a fairly good state-of-the-art building and gym and all this purpose-built, where we've got porta cabins and stuff like that. I think there probably is a little bit of a struggle with, if you're up against a team like Burnley or even West Brom or teams what have got parachute payments, it must be a bit hard to compete with them. But I think players like Bennett, we gave him a lifeline. And we said, look, we'll take you when probably most didn't want to. He was on it just come out the back of that shit with Derby. We basically put a punt on him and we said, just go play football. Just go do what you do. And to be fair, he's coming on. I mean, you posted something earlier, I think, or Kai did, that he now looks as if he's going to be wearing a number 10.
He's wearing number 10 next season.
Yeah. And, I think he's just going to get better for us. I think he's going to be good.
If he stays fit.
If he stays fit, yeah, and he wraps himself up. But you know what? I mean, he's got a new pair of boots, so hopefully he'll be all right. But I don't know.
So it's back to the recruitment angle, mate. This is it. So this is my point,
the same
right?
shit every year, isn't it?
But is it though? Because maybe we are going to sign 4 or 5 top targets, but I don't think we will personally, because I know how this works. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. But it does make me wonder. Like, I suppose Rowett done an interview. Did you watch it with the club Rebus channel the other day? And he said, I could have filled 2 11s by now if I wanted to, but we're waiting for the right targets. We want to get our players that we want. And I thought that was quite. Did you think ambitious? Is it just
blowing smoke up the yeah?
He also said, I have to shoulder the flak. I know what I want. So, I do think, okay, this is interesting. But the thing is, the clock's ticking. And if you've got your targets in mind and you're saying they're players, other clubs' best players, just fucking go out and get them then if that's what you need to do. This is what I don't understand. This is why I'm pissed off about the Ballard situation. Because you're telling me if we offer the £2 million bid for Ballard end of May, Burnley not really interested because they're still waiting for their manager to be appointed. We could have snuck in there, done the deal, announced it. We could have.
No, but in the position what Ballard plays, let's be honest, in the position what Ballard plays, surely it must be a dream opportunity to go play in a team managed by Company when Company played in that position.
Of course, mate. But I'm not talking about Ballard particularly. I'm just talking about
no. But I'm just saying on Ballard. Would Ballard, if we'd have offered, Gary Rowett £2 million, match the deals like for like, which we don't know if we've matched it, but say we did match it like for like, and you're in Ballard's position, would you want to go learn under Company or go learn under Rowett? And I would say that he's learned under Rowett and developed. No, I understand where you're coming. I understand completely what you're saying.
My point was we should have done it in May.
No, I totally agree with you.
Should have done it.
I totally agree with you. But it's always the same with Millwall.
Arsenal.
It's always the same with Millwall, though, isn't it? We should have, could have, didn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we always have these decisions every pre-season. It's always, why ain't the shirt out yet? Why haven't we signed anyone yet? Why haven't we done this yet? Why haven't we done that yet? When everyone else is doing it, and then we catch up. And I just hope for once this year, it looks like the shirt's going out 1st of July, which I think is earlier than most years. I understand 3 people talking to that the shirts are in the UK and they're ready to go and they're being put out in the shop. And the kit looks good. I've not seen it personally, contrary to popular belief. We've been told what they look like. We've had a concept designer design some shirts, which obviously we put out, and we're told that they are very, very close. We don't know until they get released how close we are, but I'll be impressed if we have done it close. We've seen the training shirts; they look good, but I just love for one year, as soon as the transfer window's open, we basically make a deal and get it signed up, rather than we potentially go down a loan route again. And then this time next year, we're in exactly the same position, getting rid of loans and looking at, are we going to buy these loans or are we going to let someone else where we've just put them in a shop window for the year and go? I mean, Jed, realistically, Jed was never going to be with us, was he? He was put in a shop window all year and he performed. And I'm not being funny, but West Brom's done a blinding bit of business to get John Swift and Jed Wallace for fuck all. Even if they cost you £2 million each in a signing on fee, that's a fucking cracking bit of business for nothing.
Well, this is it, isn't it? But back to Millwall anyway, mate, because just to finish up on recruitment and our transfers, it's going to be interesting. Like, my question is, do you buy into the fact that there might be a war chest here? Because obviously we're linked with this, Ferguson at Aberdeen. The asking price is £2.5 to £3 million. We're linked with today, George Honeyman from Hull. Asking price is rumored to be in the region of £1.5 million. Ballard was obviously a rumoured link, and we had 2 bids out for 2 club record players, which was confirmed by the club, supposedly, and that was in the media. So it's suggesting there's a good war chest there of potentially £4 to £5 million, which for us is a lot of money. But also, to back that up, which is what I find interesting and quite exciting at the same time, Jed's gone, and we offered him probably £25,000 a week, roughly.
That's
Afobe's
£100
gone.
grand. That's £100 a week in transfer. Yeah.
Let me finish. Afobe's gone, and he was on £35 a week at Stoke, and we was paying £25 apparently.
Yeah.
So that's another £100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shea Ojo's gone. He was on £40 a week at Liverpool allegedly, and we was paying half of it. That's £20. Yeah. And you got to think. So these players are departing, and also Alex Pearce was a senior player, probably on a fair wage.
Yeah.
Matt Smith went in January, probably on a fair wage. So you've got probably
Salah gone as well.
You've got probably £400-500 worth of money monthly.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money in the club coffers. Conor Mahoney was probably on a big contract because he was signed for good money.
Yeah.
So you've got all these players departed and probably a lot of funds there to not only spend with transfer fee, but also wages. So maybe there is actually some sort of funds there that are available to Riot to go and spend. I don't know if you disagree or agree there, but what do you think?
I think you're right. I think
when you think
totally
about
agree.
it and put the logic in there, a lot of players are departed on big wages.
On the wages side of it, I think, we've got wages to spend. I think the signing on fees and all of that, I think they're all very, very smoke and mirrors, really.
Technically,
you
they're
might
all the
buy
same.
someone. Yeah, you buy someone for £3 million, but whether or not you actually go, right, there's your check, there's £3 million, take it to the bank in one hit, probably not. A lot of them are spread over instalment payments, and we'll only give you £3 million if he makes so many appearances and he, gets into England, or he does this, does that, does everything else. So I think the signing on fees aren't, or the fees as such are quite smoke and mirrors, but the wages, I think we potentially, we could get probably some half decent players on some half decent wages, like that Ferguson, etc. We could potentially give them half decent money, what they might not be on at the moment. They could be on something like £5 grand, and we could offer them 15 grand a week, which is a big, it's 40 grand a month more money than what they're on at the moment. Yet we've got that money, what we were spending on maybe 5 or 6 other players. So
this is it. So, and also
I agree with you there. Yeah.
And I don't know why we do it in football where we talk weekly wage, because technically, if we agree to pay someone 20 grand a week, that's 80 grand a month, and also nearly £1 million a year. So the financial commitment there is, and you look at the finances, they never say what we pay weekly. They say what the annual salary is for the squad. So I don't understand why we do this in football, and why it's so fixated what we say they get a week, because there's at the end of the day, there's a big kitty there, and a chunk of it will be the transfer fee, and a chunk of it will be the wages. So my point to that is, obviously, like I said, all these players have gone wages wise. Berylson's promising to be ambitious this summer before these players have all gone. So in that theory, there's probably a fair whack of money there, and hopefully we do spend some cash. That's my point, and hopefully we do.
I hope that we do, but you've also got to look at why Jed didn't. Does Jed think the ambition was in the club? Does Ballard think there was ambition in the club? Has Jed just been too close too often and not been there? But then again, I don't know. You look at
this. Is it, though, mate? Because
he wanted Prem, but realistically, does West Brom finish below us this season? But with the likes of John Swift and Jed up, in the middle with whoever else they bring in or whoever else they gun. I mean, they did score more goals than us.
Jason Mullenby, mate. Jason Mullenby.
Yeah. They did score more than us, didn't they? They did score more than us since Christmas and whatnot, I think, anyway, more goals than us. So, realistically, they do stand a fairly good chance. And obviously, we'll probably look at them when we do when we do the prediction show shortly. But I don't know. I mean, but to me, Jed's gone now. It is what it is.
So we're drawing a close to the era of Jed Wallace at Millwall now.
I think we have to. And he ended no legend.
I agree. I've done the pause there on purpose. I agree. He's not a legend. However, he was our best player the last 5 years.
Listen, he's not a legend.
I agree.
He's definitely a Hall of Fame player for Millwall. He will definitely be noted for what he did for this team, what he did in his ability, and he progressed with his ability getting better and what he did for us, because he was definitely better on the pitch than off the pitch with us. And you can't take away that he was definitely an exceptional player for us, but he wasn't a legend.
Yeah, and whether him and Barrow are convinced or not, the fact of the matter is, and this is the meaning of life, actions speak louder than words. So Millwall, fucking
100%.
pull your finger out your ass and fucking spend some money, please, and sign some players, because you've got fans here that are getting disillusional. I said today on Twitter, it reminds me of the season of 2005, Mickey. It reminds me, because obviously that was when FIFA sold the club. We went into turmoil. Thankfully, we've got a stable ownership at the moment, and that doesn't seem likely to happen. But who knows what's around the corner in life anymore? And then we lost Dennis Wise as manager. We lost Danny Dichio. We lost all these players. Kevin Muscat, Paul Ifill, Darren Ward. All these players left, and it feels significant because Afobe, Jed Wallace, Daniel Ballard. These are players that were all playing last season and key figures in our side. And it's like, you're taking all these players out of the fold. You're losing leaders as well, Mickey. And I think that's a nice segue to go on to, who's going to be the leader in the camp next season? Hutchinson's going to be the captain probably, but is Hutchinson a captain? Is he a leader? Jed Wallace was the leader of that dressing room, in my opinion. After Morrison left, the throne of it went to Jed Wallace, in my opinion, because he was the one that set the example. I know Pat Pearce was the club joker in a sense, and he was doing all these tasks.
He was probably the man manager and all that, but yeah, I mean, Hutchinson.
Wallace was the driving force of that dressing room for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
and that's a big shoes to fill, there, mate. And it's a bit of a scary thought, I think.
I don't know who would be a leader really. Murray Wallace maybe, and also if we in Ferguson, the Scottish captain.
No. Tierney is, or Robertson is.
Oh, okay.
Ferguson, I don't think he even play. I don't think does he play for Scotland? I don't think he has. Does he? I don't think he has.
I saw something with what Murray Wallace was saying about him, that it'd be an absolute signing to come to us. It'd be great for him. Blah blah blah. But I don't know.
Lewis Ferguson has played for Scotland 4 times, and last season he scored 13 goals for Aberdeen. There you go. So, right, let's segue on to Aberdeen.
While you're doing the Scottish accent, are we going to talk about
fixtures?
Lovelace.
Oh, Lovelace. Do you want to talk about I was going to talk about fixtures, but if you want to talk about Lovelace, we can acknowledge it, I suppose. Go on, mate.
We'll go Lovelace. I think the problem is with Lovelace, I think we played him because we had to. And people within the game say that, he thinks he's a lot better than what he is, which, I'm not knocking. I think, he's a young lad and he's got to make a way for himself. But I don't think necessarily he's going to be a first team player at Rangers. I think he's probably going to be academy.
Do you buy this, right? So obviously with all the hearsay, he's a 15-year-old kid last Christmas walking into a Millwall dressing room, right? And I saw the same tweet, same text as you. The same alleged that he's, spoiled brat and likes to. This is a 15-year-old kid walking into a men's dressing room full of characters at Millwall.
You've got to man up. You've got.
I buy it. I don't buy any of that bollocks about him being a prima donna, not whatsoever.
I buy it.
Come on, mate.
No. I buy it in much of today's generation of that era. Think they are something special. I've got a 15-year-old daughter. Yeah, she's a good girl, but they have that air of arrogance to a level, right? I'm not saying they don't, right? And not in a bad way. I'm not saying it in a.
But
in
you
a
put a
negative,
15, 16-year-old kid into a men's dressing room, mate. It's a different ball game in life. Come on, pal.
Absolutely.
So
I think that you've got to be seen, especially where he's coming into football and he wants to play in that team. You've got to have something about you, haven't you? You've got to have something about you.
That is true, but I don't think the extreme of saying he's trying to demand things or be this or be that.
Oh, I don't necessarily know if that's all
this
true.
This kid's just done his GCSEs, man. Come on, let's be real about it. He's in year 11 of school, just finishing his GCSEs. I mean, on the transfer saga, we've lost him to Rangers, haven't we, mate? That's what's been muted. It's not been announced yet, but it seems all but done. It's a shame to see him go, and also it's a shame to see him go to Scotland, mate, because the tribunal fee is £100,000 allegedly, £100,000, £200,000 maximum. Yeah. Whereas if he went to a Premier League club, we could have got upwards of £2 million for him. big loss.
Million and a half, yeah.
And it's unfortunate. I think also that's what people were saying potentially is why he's gone to Scotland, because that fee could be made up elsewhere, maybe with a sign-on fee or a bonus for his mum and dad.
Allegedly.
There's
Allegedly.
Massive allegedly. I say it could be, right?
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it? And this is so it's an unfortunate fact, and it's a shame that we've lost a young talent that could have potentially maybe played more games this year or had a good loan move somewhere, and we've lost him to go to Rangers, mate.
Yeah. I think it's a shame he didn't sign his contract with us. I hope that he gets the football he wants to get, and he comes in to be a player. What hopefully he is. But I just think that maybe a Go Academy is in. If he was at Millwall, the potential is that he could have got first team football. But hey ho, it is what it is. We don't know that. I mean, he might not be good enough. I mean, Millwall might not have really wanted to fight for him that much. He might not have been good enough. We don't know. What we see isn't the same people what the club see.
Of course, and you got to trust the club's opinion, I suppose, haven't you? So,
no. I mean, we've heard a lot of hearsay over the last couple of days about a lot of players, and some of them are from very good, what I would class as very good, trustworthy sources. But then we've seen some other people who sit there and counteract that by going great person, great personality, blah 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 blah. So you don't know, it's all hearsay, everything else, and a lot of the stuff what we know and we've seen, we've heard, we've spoken about, it's not our place to put it in the public domain. We've talked bits and pieces, but we've not discussed anywhere near what we've seen over the last couple of days regarding some of the information and whatnot. But it's not our place to put it in the public domain because we can't back it up.
All hearsay, as I said earlier. Right, let's finish up talking about fixtures today, mate, because it was all overshadowed. But Jed Wallace leaving and the news of Lovelace. But we did have fixture release day. I remember being a kid, right, and being in school, and we used to get break time about when I was 12, 13 years old in secondary school. I used to leg it to the library just to see it at 10:30, see what the fixtures were. I thought about that today, and I was like, cool, there's me being like a soppy about it, all buzzing for it. Today, it's just another day, isn't it? Fixture release day. I look forward to it to see who we might be potentially playing the big sides. Like when's Sunderland away? When's this happening? When's that happening? But the fulfillment for it nowadays, it's a normal day. But it's nice to see that season's getting closer, mate, because in 6 Saturday time, we get to play Stoke City at home, pal. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Good fixture for first game of season?
Yeah, I think it's a good fixture. It'll be a good game to have as a first game opening. I'm surprised with some of the games and some of the things around them. Like having Luton on Good Friday is a surprise. But hey ho, they obviously think it's fine. It's not a dodgy. Obviously, with what happened last year, Birmingham is 2 midweek games, 2 evening kickoffs. Which I suppose you can understand to a degree. But I think massively the old Bill fucked up last game for whatever reason, whether or not, if you believe the conspiracy theory that they just wanted to go out and get all the arrests and be able to ban people and whatnot, got no idea. But, there's something, something smells there. But no, Blackpool towards the end of the season.
It's the last away game of the season. That's what I was going to say. First away game of the season is Sheffield United away. Always a good away day, mate. In August as well. Should be nice weather. Get up there early. A few jars in the town centre. Perfect. Then we've got Coventry at home.
We've been invited up there, mate, by a rival podcaster.
So there you go, then.
Podcast, yeah, mate.
And then we've got Swansea away on a Tuesday night. Bit bleak. I need to do that, though, so I've got to take it off my list. Norwich away on a Saturday early in August. Exciting. And then we've got Burnley away also on a Tuesday night. So bit naff. But Sunderland is on the 10th of September. London derbies against QPR on a Tuesday night or Wednesday night. That's at home. And then over Christmas, obviously, we've got Luton on the 17th after we come back from international duty, so to speak. And then we've got Watford up on Boxing Day. New Year's Day, we are at home against Rotherham, so we have to travel far for that. But yeah, it's exciting, mate. I think what it reminds me of, though, is what I said on a previous podcast. Like, it's the most northern championship you're ever going to get. It's just full of northern sides. The last 2 aways of the season are Wigan and Blackpool. You literally go up to Manchester one Saturday, and the week after you go up to Manchester again, mate. It's bleak. But At least we get last home game of the season against Blackburn when we need to get 3 points to stay up, right?
Yeah, I think playing at home on the last day of the
Keep us
season is
up.
nice. Isn't
Relegation
it?
decider.
Yeah. I think, the way it's looking, unless we make some big signings, potentially it looks lower table relegation battle before we've even kicked a ball.
We'll make some signings. The only thing is, though, right, because obviously we've got 12 outfield players. We're going back to this conversation now. You don't want to make wholesale changes in the preseason, in general, because if you have 5 or 6 new additions that all want to go into start 11, they need to gel together, mate. It's a lot of work, and I don't know, it's going to be interesting. I have no idea how this is going to go this preseason. I just want us to sign some players, please. Millwall, if you're listening, just sign some players.
We know they listen.
Announce some on Friday. Just announce 2. Announce like a £2 million signing, smash on our transfer record, and announce Ollie Burke, please. That's all we want. But by the time we go to Dartford away, is that the first preseason game, Dartford? By the time we get to Dartford, please just say we've got 4 new players. What? It's true, mate.
It just
losing
amazed me
sleep over this here.
It just amazed me. What do you call it? Who is it? What do you call it? It's got. I saw it the other day. Who was it? Who's got West Ham and where you got Dartford? Can't figure who it was now.
I have no idea, mate. Come on, if you're going to bring something up, at least make sure you've got the knowledge in there, mate. Come on. That's the 12th of July, obviously, the pre-season games. We've discussed it before. Dartford away on the 12th on a Tuesday night. We then play 3 nights later against Colchester United on Friday night. And then the week after, we have Ipswich at home, which is going
West
to be
Ham.
damp squid.
West Ham travelled to Scotland to tackle Rangers in a pre-season friendly on Tuesday, the 19th of July. And yet, we got fucking Dartford on the same day. How's that?
We got Dartford the week before. But yeah, Dartford's a nice away day anyway, mate. It's nice and local. It's not too bad. Go there and have a few jars.
From where? Say it.
I didn't want to say it's around me, Ralph. If you want to reveal that, by all means do so.
I'm a Kent cunt, so yeah.
Yeah, Dartford wool, real wool. But mate,
Listen, mate.
I think we've done a little ramble anyway today, a bit off the cuff, but first show of the 22-23 season. Wouldn't have it any other way, mate. Just two of us rambling on, right?
It's good. No, exactly, mate. And I think get following us this season, mate. We have got some new stuff coming this season. We've got some treats for you. We've got some different shows coming. We've got some different bits and pieces all lined up. So yes, make sure you're following us. Make sure you tell your mate. We've got some good things coming, mate. We've got a new clothing brand who's joining us as such. We've got some other bits and pieces. So yeah, it's all good, mate. It's all good.
Exciting times to be supporting Millwall. Who would have thought it?
Well, yeah, we would show you the clothing brand now, but we were meant to meet up this week, and unfortunately due to work we couldn't. But we're going to meet up and then we'll do a special video on that, but so that we both get it at the same time and put it on. But yeah, we'll probably have that for the weekend show. So yeah, don't panic.
Grand reveal.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's our first show of the 22-23 season. Exciting to say that. Hopefully we can smash out content this year, bring out loads of shows, and obviously contributions from the 3 other guys that are not on here today. More to come. And if you want to get involved, if you want to get involved, like I was about to say there, be sure to just drop us a DM. Follow us on socials at that Mill Pods. We're welcome and receptive to anyone to come on. We'd love to hear all about your stories about following Millwall. If you want to go on Who Are Ya? I mean, if you didn't see that last week, be sure to check out the show that Micky done with Kai and Joe. That was a great show.
Yeah.
And we need to do one together, me and you, mate. I think that's what we should do next show, maybe just me and you. I reckon we do the first half where I ask you the questions, and then we flip it, and then you ask me the questions second half. What do you reckon?
Yeah, maybe that would please a certain person who's been asking that. But we need to do you and Joe anyway.
We've always said we need to get you on a Who Are You, mate. So we
need to get you and Thingy as well. So yeah, we got you and Chris to do as well. So yeah, but we do it. So yeah, it's not a problem. Just 2 things. If it's all right if I say them now, you've got something else you want to say?
I've got nothing else to say, mate. But I thought you was finished. But you crack on.
No, sorry. 2 things. Obviously today Fixture Day's come out, and it's now the start of the planning for the Remembrance Day game. I'm not going to tell you when it is, but we are starting to plan for that now. And what we want to do this year is we want some RAF, serving RAF. But what I'm looking for at the moment before I go to the RAF, they've already promised us some serving RAF personnel. But what I want to try and do is see if we can find some Millwall serving personnel. So if you're a serving RAF personnel and you're a Millwall fan, or your daughter, your son is serving in the RAF and you'd like to see him involved in the Remembrance Day celebrations on the pitch, then please get in touch with us. You can email us at Micky or Omar at thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk. You can DM us. You can find our details all across social media. In all our bios, there's a link there where you can get in touch with us. On the website, you can get in touch with us. Let us know as soon as possible, and then we can have a conversation and take it from there for it. So yeah, definitely looking for RAF at the minute. No other services at the minute, because we've got loads of people who have been in touch, but it seems that the RAF are the ones we're having a hard time getting. So yeah, reach out for that. And if you're a writer, then get in touch, because we've got a new website now where we're looking to highlight people who just want to get your stuff out there. We can't pay you stuff, but we will help you promote your stuff across our social media channels and get people looking at your stuff. So yeah, get in touch. And yeah, really excited to end show number 1 for the 22-23 season.
That's it. We can't pay you anything, but if you come to an away day, I'll buy you a beer. There you go.
Yeah.
Fair offer, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
No, that's it. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, you put it on the podcast credit card, and no one's gonna have to know about it.
Yeah, no, the person who we took it from don't know we got it yet. So,
yeah, I was about to tell you I took a credit card out, but just so you know, it's in your name and your address as well. So
yeah, no, sweet. That's it. So
right,
yeah. I'll buy you a beer.
We're starting off. Fixture is the first edition of the 22-23 season, and we'll be back probably Monday or Tuesday for another show. We will get dates fixed onto that as we get closer to the season, I promise.
Yeah.
And
drop us a line. Tell us what day's best for you, Monday or Tuesday. Let us know.
Drop us a line. I like that one.
Drop us a line.
Cheers, guys. See you later.